Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCalsabre here. I hope everybody's having a fine Friday afternoon or whenever in the evening, whenever you're watching the video. So 2022 saw a lot of different things go on in my channel, especially me. And so I'm going to be making 3 different videos. Today's video is going to cover the top 2022 board games that I played and owned. The other one will be war games, and then there will be another one on sports games. I had to break them into different categories because they do rank differently and so forth. And so I wanted to share. There's a lot of these videos that go out on YouTube, but I figured, well, I might as well do one too in case anybody in my channel's kind of interested in what I favored and what I liked all the games, but what I favored the most during the year. So we're going to be doing that here in a second. Let me just go up here and share this screen here. Okay, today's video is going to be the top 2022. Why am I struggling with that number today? Board games owned, with the caveat that all of these are owned by me and were played by me this year at some point in time during the year. And that doesn't even touch how many I got in my collections. I'm just going to slow down on the purchasing here in 2023 and try to get some of this stuff out onto the table. And that. So if you have any comments, if you're watching, just go ahead and drop them in there. If you have any questions, whether you're watching it now or when it's recorded, just put them in the remarks section and I'll get back to you. Okay. And with an answer. So let's go and take a look at what games I did play last year. 20 of them. And I found this very, very difficult to do. And because a lot of these games were really, really good. Some of them are good. Some of them are very good. So these are the ones I played, and they're in alphabetical order, as you can see. If you played any of these or you think which ones you like the most, go ahead and put it in the remarks section. I'd like to know what you guys are thinking about, what games you played and what you liked and so forth. I see there's 3 people out there watching. Hello to you all. Anyway, let me see if I got any comments. There's a couple on here that people say, oh, they shouldn't be in the board game because they're war games like Twilight Struggle. That's the Cold War. And it's not really war, but there's a big debate about whether that's a war game or a board game. And the other one is This War of Mine. So I'm going to include it in both of mine. All right. Because it doesn't really matter to me. So here we go. And let's see what we got. Okay. We're going to do some honorable mentions first. Of ones that, because I'm only going to be doing the top 5. Ones that didn't quite make it to the top 5. There's a lot of them that didn't quite make it to the top 5, but I had to nail it down or limit it down somehow. So here we go. Abyss, Firefly, and This War of Mine. Abyss, that is like a set collection, card collection, and so forth, and points. And the artwork in Abyss is really, really good. It's really, really good. I just played it recently, a 4-player game, and I came in last place. But normally my grandson wins all the games, but this was the first one he didn't win. Our friend AJ won it. And Firefly. This is Firefly without the expansions. I have played Firefly last year with all of the expansions also. And that's I like it. If you like the theme Firefly and you like the TV show or the movies, this is a good game. It's a pickup and delivery type of a game for who scores the most money or earns the most money and so forth. And so it's pretty interesting. Played it several times now over the last couple of years. I wouldn't mind playing it again. This War of Mine. Now this is solo. Okay. So I didn't play it with anybody else. And it calls This War of Mine. If you're not familiar with it, a lot of people you'll read reviews. They say, "Oh, it's such a dark theme. I can't play it." No, well, it's just a game, okay? And it's set in middle Europe, and these you're survivors living in the city with a war going on. And things are very, very scarce. Your food and your clothing and all of that, and warmth and everything. And your job is to try to survive. I really enjoy this game. I got beat to death again last year when I played it, and I'll probably play it again this year. It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. It's a big challenge, and so don't let the critics scare you off too much on this one, because there is a lot of guys that are people that won't play it because of the theme. But to me, it's just a game. Real life has enough challenges in it without me creating some. All right, and here we go. We're going to start this countdown now. And at number 5, Colony. As I put that, is designed by Ted Alsap, Torio Hojo, and N2. Yeah, that's the name, N2. And published by Beezer Games. This is a pretty cool game. I only played it once so far, and I played it this year. And it's a post-apocalyptic, and you're rebuilding society. And everybody's rebuilding a different society. There's a lot of replayability in this. It's deck building, and it's also dice drafting, dice manipulation, a lot of different things going on. Not hard to learn. I believe it's 2 to 4 players. I should have been writing that. I should have put those in there in the comments, but I forgot. Honestly, sorry about that. So keep it in mind, Colony. Check out the reviews on it. It's a good, fun game. Easy to learn, quick to set up, and a lot of replayability. Okay, now we're going to go to number 4, Battlestar Galactica. I've had this for quite a long time. I don't have any of the expansions because the cost of the expansions is way out of the range of what I would pay for them. And it's been out of print for years now. It was published by Fantasy Flight Games, and it's very thematic. And in the game, you're playing one of the characters of the show, and you're trying to survive, and you're trying to do this. And there's a lot of bluffing going on because somebody turns into a Klingon, but you don't know who. And it's not at the beginning of the game either. Nobody knows at the beginning of the game who's going to turn. Cleon, is that right, Cleon? Yeah, I probably goofed that up too. But somebody turns into one of them at some point in the game. And then their job is to try to survive and not let anybody else know. And your job is to try to escape and, the things. And that fun, great, a lot of thematic, area movement, dice rolling, head management, and a lot of crosstalk between the players on things that you're going to do and what you're going to do. Good game. It's pretty costly out there. I got it on a pretty good deal about 3 years ago, and I only played it once, but it's still pretty pricey out there on eBay. The expansions are way out of my range. Okay, number 3, Great Western Trails by Alexander Pfister. This was one of the 2 games that I played by him this year, and the other one is Maracaibo. And they're both rondels games where you're going around and doing the same thing, but it's a deck building, a set collection, worker placement, and it's a rondel. And it's to see who's going to earn the most money as you're rounding up your cattle and driving them to Kansas, and then you're selling them at market, and then you're shipping them off on trains to the different locations. To get there. A lot of fun. I forget how many rounds you do, maybe 4 or 5 different rounds that you go around doing this. A lot of fun. There is also now Great Western Trails Edition 2, which I have. And this one pictured here is the first edition, which after I picked up the second edition, I gave this one first edition to a friend of mine. So maybe I'll get Great Western Trails Edition number 2 out on the table sometime this year. Good game. Check it out. Recommended. All right, number 2, Nemesis by Awakening Realms. This is a really cool game. Really good game. Big board, a lot of stuff going on there. And it says cooperative dungeon crawler. But every person in the game has an overall and a personal objective they must obtain. just because we may beat the monsters and everybody may reach that point, that doesn't mean they win. They have certain personal objectives they must obtain before certain points, like get off the ship before it blows up, or take the ship to the moon instead of Mars, or whatever you got to do besides doing that. But a lot of monsters in it, Nemesis, a lot of miniatures in it, really fun, dice rolling, hidden battles, hidden rolls, and hand management. It's a big game. I like to get it on the table again this year if I can. I played it with 2 other people this year, and look forward to playing it again. Well, number 1, let's go back and see if we go backwards. Okay. What would be your guess? What would be your guess? Poppin' Coffee says, I've been wanting to try Great Western Trails for a while. I will have to move it up on that list. Yeah, recommended. It's I'd probably say medium weight. Not that hard to learn, but there are a few things you got to get used to in there and that. And so I do recommend it. I don't know if you're going to be playing the first edition or the second edition, but the rules should be the same. All the graphics and so forth are just a little different in that. So these are the games I played. All right. Anybody going to take a guess at what my number 1 was? The one that, and these, when I say number 1, I liked all of these games, but it's the game that I had, the pick is the one that I had the most fun with. I guess that's about the easiest way to say it, is to get the most fun. Okay, so let's go down there. There, recap. There's my honorable mentions. Number 5 was Colony. Recommended. I recommend all these. Battlestar Galactica, if you have it, of course. Like I said, very hard to find, very costly. Great Western Trail, recommended. Alexander Pfister. The other one by Alexander Pfister I played last year is that one. Look in the M's there, Maracaibo, right in the middle there. That's a rondel, and it's got similar game mechanics in it, but I think it's a little bit more difficult. Okay. So here we go. Where were we at? Great Western Trail, Nemesis, and number 1, Brass Birmingham. I've had this game for quite a while, designed by Gavin Brown, Matt Tolman, and Martin Wallace, and published by Roxley Games. I had this game for quite a while. It's been was in the top 10 on Board Game Geek for a long, long time. I will say that if there was an award for it, I would probably say for me, this was the hardest one I had to learn. It's an economic game faced in Birmingham and the Industrial Revolution in England in the 1850 or somewhere around there. You got to deal with canals, and then you deal with rails, and then you got to build pubs and wineries and all these buildings over. A lot of fun. Network and route building is really, really important. Hand management, because you've got cards that you're dealing with. Then there's income, and then you can take loans, and then there's markets where you can sell your stuff. In fact, 4 of us played it, and when we were all done, to me it just seemed, what the heck, what was going on at this end? It just did not seem right. So following the game, after everybody left in the next couple of days, I did a really thorough review of the rules and some videos. And I found a couple things that we were doing that completely threw the game off for us, So 3 of us were able to get back together, and we were playing with the new information that I rounded up, and it was a lot better and a lot more fun. But the learning curve is pretty high on it. I should put those on there when I do these too, is what the learning curves are. So anyway, Brass Birmingham, that was my favorite for the year. Out of all of them, they're all my favorite. They're all fun games. I liked every game that was on that list. But for some reason, I wanted to play this for a long time. I played it, and the value came through to me. So, it's It's the first of three. I'm going to be doing two more top 22 games, 2022 game. One will be war games, and one will be sports games, stuff that I cover on the channel. So if there's anything you'd like me to do during the year, or look at, or possibly do, put it in the remarks, and I'll try my best to do it. I'm working on a couple things now that were recommended to me. I'm having a little bit of a problem with one or two of them, but I will get them out there eventually. I just seem to be having a little bit of a concentration issue ever since I got out of the hospital last month. Anyway, it's been great this afternoon presenting this with you, reviewing the 2022 thing. Brings back a lot of good memories and everything. So, this is SoCalSabre. Hey, and there's Pop and Gar. Thanks for sharing, Bill. Great games. Looking forward to other lists. Thank you very much for stopping in on today. This is SoCalSabre saying, hope everybody had a great new year. Hope you're going to have a great 2023. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other and stay safe.